This wood that's on the table here come from my father-in-law's house. I've been remodeling it ever since he passed away. And I decided that I would try to recycle as much stuff as I could possibly recycle. So I'm tearing down some stuff in the house. And I had this wood left over. What can I make with it? Okay, I know. I'll make this Janga set. And I'll give it to my grandson. But some of the wood is old and battered. Some of it has holes in it. So they say, well, that gives it character. It just makes it look better because it has character. So I want to talk to you about what real character is. See this board right here? This board represents the life of the man that built that house. Rod Lee. Look at it. For pine, it looks really good. And you would think that, well, if that represents his life, then he had a pretty good life. Look at this one. What do you see in this one? You see hammer marks. Hammer marks represent a strike that missed. He missed the target on this one. He did not hit the nail. He didn't give up though. He missed the first time and he done it again. He missed the second time and he done it a third time. And I know he finished the job. How do I know he finished the job? Because this board was attached to another board. He didn't stop there. How do I know he didn't stop there? See these nail holes? There was another board attached to this board. That's character. Rod did have some knots in his life. Things that happen that you really don't want. You know what knots are, right? Knots come from a tree branch that broke off or partially grew and then the tree grew around it or something. Various things. So Rod's life was not perfect, but look at the character of that. Look at that character. Pretty nice looking piece of pine here. This pine right here represents part of Rod's life as well. Rod had a nice family. He raised his granddaughter from basically the time she was born till she was about 27 or 28 years old. And then she was in an accident and she was killed. And a piece of Rod's life broke off. And on the outside, Rod still tried to show character. He still, on the outwardly part, still put on his best face. But as you can see from the side here, it's not a perfect piece of wood. It's got holes in it. Rod's life had holes in it. Even though he tried to show as much character as possible, his life had holes in it. And one of the biggest holes that he had in his life. This is a piece of womanized wood. It come from the greenhouse that my mother-in-law spent years and years taking care of with their nursery business. She put her whole heart and soul into this nursery business, and Rod loved her so much, but she died of cancer. And when she died of cancer, it left a hole in his life. Not like a little hole when his his granddaughter died, but a big hole. His wife that he'd been married to for 50 some odd years, and now she's dead. She died of cancer. Rod once again tried to put on a big happy face for everybody, but he was still wounded. He still had holes in him. And those holes And here's the last one. This is another piece of womanized wood. This womanized piece of wood, along with the other one, was out in the weather for years and years, and it still held up. But when Rod finally did die, he died a broken man. He died a broken man because of the woman that he loved so long had died before him. So what do we do with this? What do we do with all the pieces of boards that are part of Rod's life? We pass the memories on. We pass the memories on to the kids and to the grandkids of the character of this man who spent his life building his home for his family. That's character. That's real character.